Alright, compared to our other lessons, BB6 will be relatively easy. Should be an easy 100% for everyone. We're going to get it done in one video too. So we're going to be figuring out what the solving quadratic equations with square roots. So we're going to be figuring out what two square roots could potentially make up each number. So looking up here, well, what number squared could make 81? So we know 9 times 9 should give you 81. So 9 is going to be one of them, but what could the other one be? Well, hopefully we can remember lessons back, it was before Christmas, that if we did a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So negative 9 times negative 9 would also give us 81. So it could be 9 or negative 9. So over here, square root of 64, so we're going to square root 64, should give you 8. And then the same thing, negative 8 is your opposite answer. Now, going to be given some equations. Here's just an example of one of them, what it could be. So we're going to be moving the 21 to this side, so we're going to add 21 to get the x by itself. We got x squared equals 121. Then we square root 121, and we get x is 11. Looking at over here, kind of the same question. Adding 4, and then you're going to get t squared equals 25, and then square root t, square root 25, you get t equals 5. Okay. Now over here, for 5 and 6, it's going to ask you no real solution, one real solution, two real solution, meaning there's no answer, can't happen, it's impossible. One answer, really the only way you're going to have one answer is if it's 0. So keep that in mind. And then 2, which we were doing just previously, you have 2 different answers. Okay. All right. So, and then don't forget, you could potentially do negatives here. I just didn't write them down. All right. So subtract your 88. You notice that we have an 88 taking away an 88. So we get k squared equals 0. Square root 0, it's always 0. And since k can't be negative, that's where you get your one real solution. It does not matter what Coach Payne has always said. There's no such thing as a negative 0. All right. Up here, doing the same thing. H squared equals, remember, subtractor 75, subtractor 75, so we get negative 75. So what do you think is going to happen here? If we square root h and get h by itself, and then we square root negative 75, hopefully you should know it's not going to happen. H cannot square root a negative, okay? So it cannot happen. H cannot make whatever it needs to make, so no real solution, okay? All right, and then our advanced question for the day, we have this equation here. You're going to be figuring out what x or 2 x's, you got x or x. So we're going to be moving our 72, so add 72, so we get 64x squared equals 16. Divide by 64, and you get x squared equals 1/4. Now, still got to square root that. So if we square root a quarter, we get x equals a half. So you get x is a half, or x is negative 1/2. And that's pretty much everything for BB6.